Hello, my name is Jeff Krentar. I'm a CAD BIM specialist and an Autodesk certified instructor at Robotech CAD Solutions in Hoboken, New Jersey. And today we're going to talk about some of Autodesk's MEP fabrication software. Here are the topics that we're going to cover, and you'll see the same software is listed multiple times because we'll be using it for different reasons. First, we're going to use ESTMEP as a design tool, where we take a PDF, import it into the software, and trace on top of it. Then we're going to import Revit elements into ESTMEP to help illustrate the unified BIM workflow. We'll then use ESTMEP to value engineer the ductwork to save construction costs. And then we'll get into CADmep. CADmep will help us further develop the design, locate and solve conflicts, and detail the MEP components. We'll get into opening Navisworks for a few minutes, where we'll also use that as a clash detection tool. We'll use it as a clash detection tool between a structural model and the MEP model. And then we'll go back to CADmep for a little bit while we're doing some detailing. We'll open up CAMduct when it's time to use the plasma cutter and cut the sheet metal. And then we'll go back to CADmep as an installation tool to help us locate all the points for hangers. Okay, so here we are in ESTMEP, and we're going to bring in a PDF. We're going to we'll turn off a layer here, and we'll place it at 0, 0. Okay, so we'll just scale it back up to full scale now. And I'll put in 1692 inches, which is 141 feet. And we'll zoom out so we can see the entire drawing here. We'll lock the PDF. And we'll zoom into the area that we need to start working in. So here we are, we're doing design lines and we're adding some pipe. Chose the size pipe that we want. We'll give it an elevation. And we'll start tracing over the PDF. So I added this one length of pipe here. We'll change the elevation and add a riser. Then we'll go back and you'll see a list of previous elevations. We'll go back to the elevation that we had it, switch to a different size, and we'll draw another length of pipe. And then just pretty much following those same steps where we're giving it an elevation, we're adding risers, we're setting it to another elevation, and we'll start just adding more pipes. Okay, just adding another riser, putting in the elevation, switching to a different pipe size, and we'll add a few more pipes. Now we're going to connect all these sinks together, and there's going to be a riser in between. Okay, I'm going to add another riser. Perfect. Just by right-clicking, you could end it. You could right-click again. You could start another length of pipe somewhere else. You can see it has O snaps just like in AutoCAD, where you can snap to the nearest point. Just right click to end it. Add another length here. Okay, good. So we added a few pipes here, and we'll take a look at it in 3D. Orbit around a little bit so we can see it. And this is what we just added. You'll see it automatically puts hangers in, but we could turn them off. You could control. There are a lot of settings in here that you can control how far apart the hangers are, if you need them or not. And we could take a quick look at this estimating summary. Okay, so here we are back in EST MEP, and we're doing something a little bit different than we did earlier. Before, we brought in a PDF and we created a 3D model from a 2D drawing. Now we're going to create a 3D model from a 3D model. So we're bringing in a subsystem from Revit, and we're going to convert the design intent Revit elements to fabrication intent items. We need to make sure these fittings, we're going to ignore these. Hit OK. Good. So the conversion is complete. It's not perfect. If we zoom in, you'll see it's missing a piece of duct here, but we can fix it. So although it's not perfect, we can make modifications here. We're going to see that there's a little chunk of duct missing there. So we'll repair that. So we're going to select some of these lines here, and we'll take a look and do a little inspection here, and you'll see that the elevations are a little bit different. So if we change the elevation, we make them all the same. That should solve that problem. Good. Now we could take a look at this estimating summary again. Now, the really great thing about this, it can really help mechanical, electrical, plumbing contractors better understand project costs, which in turn helps create more accurate, competitive bids and win more work. Okay, so here we are back in EST MEP, and we're opening up a project that we worked on before where we added all of the plumbing. And we're going to the estimating summary, and the cost of the job is now, it's about $3,600. So how does it calculate that cost? Well, we're going to select some objects here, and all of the objects have a code, a pricing code, that's linked to the Harrison Pricing Data Service. So it's all linked to this Harrison Pricing Data Service, and in 3D now, we're going to select some of these objects and change their purpose or change their service. In turn, it will change their materials. So we're going to change this to vent here. The materials have changed, which in turn should change the cost of the project. So let's take a look now and see that the cost significantly changed. It's about $663 now. So that's a huge difference. So you can see as we're making changes, it's automatically updating, and we're just going to switch that back to waste the way it was before. So we really only did that just to see that it's a live estimating summary, and we can see the changes. We could also create many different reports, like a bill of quantities, a breakdown of tender, and even ancillary reports. So let me expand this a little bit here. There we go. So it has great reporting capabilities. Just more ways for us to gain information from our project and get better project costs estimating. We could also export reports out to different software like Excel. Browse out to where we want to save it. Okay, let's put it here. What we want to name it. Demo. Okay. Tell it what type of extension or what type of file it's going to be. And here we go. So let me just open that up real fast so you can see this Excel sheet that it created. And there you go. So lots of great reporting tools. Just more ways for us to gain information from our project. It uses libraries with real-world content, associated pricing data, gives businesses the ability to more accurately place bids of projects with more confidence and monitor the cost of changes throughout the project. Okay, so now here we are in CADmep. So we were using the ESTMEP earlier, now we're using CADmep. And I'm just going to browse out to this project here and open it up. And I'll close this out. And here we are. So there's a really great clash detection tool. So we're going to check that out. I'm going to type in check here, use this check tool. There are a couple of problems in this project, but we're going to focus on this one. There's a return duct. There's a supply duct hitting this return branch. And there's a great set view icon that I just clicked on. And we'll switch it to a realistic visual style. And it gives us a real good idea of what's going on here. So if we switch it back to wireframe now, and we look at it from the top, here's the area that we need to focus on. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these and switch them to 2D just to make it a little bit easier to work with. And I'll stretch this duct back. Okay, I'll stretch it back 18 inches. And then I'm going to use the move command. To move it back 18 inches. Good, so that takes care of that. Now we can change these back to 3D. And also this one here. Perfect. So switching it back to realistic and taking a look at it in 3D view, we solved that problem over here. Now we're going to go to another area of our project. So I'll just flip this around a little bit here and take a look at this air handler. So this air handler has multiple lines, and there's a great multi-service line tool here, which it makes it a little bit easier to lay out because you're taking these multiple lines and showing them as a single line, which makes it a little bit easier. I'm just importing a layout that has already been created, and we'll use that. Okay, so now going back to this multi-service line tool, we can make sure it's using that new layout that we imported, which it is. And we could also change the different options for these lines. Good, and then we'll just start drawing it in. Go up a little bit here. Okay, and then back to the left. So you'll see it almost looks like a tray, but it's just holding that space there. It knows how much space those three lines need. Okay, great. So um, we're going to fill this in and make it look like a real three-dimensional pipe there. So there we have it. So there are some really great tools with CADmep, just two of them that we showed right now, but we showed the clash detection and the multi-service line tool. But CADmep provides tools that extend design intent models such as Revit models and turn them into real detailed models that use real-world manufacturer-specific content, and tools that speed up the creation of detailed models where usual users usually must redraw the designs provided them by the engineer. So less redrawing and some really great tools that help change those design intent models from software like Revit and turn them into more detailed models without so much rework. So just another really great tool. Okay, so here we are in Navisworks Manage, and a few seconds ago we were using CADmep, but now we're using Navisworks. We used the clash detection tools in CADmep, and that's really great if you're running clash detection between elements in your own model. So you're running, we had a clash between one of our supply ducts against one of our return ducts. Well, if you want to do clash detection between models, then Navisworks is a great tool. So in our case, we're running clash detection between this structural model and the MEP model. And you'll see it found three different clashes. Similar to the CADmep, how we were able to zoom into the area of the model where we had the clashes. In CADmep, we used set view, but here we could just click on it and it'll find that area of our model. So another really great tool. This is more of an analysis tool. Um, we used it for coordinating clashes, interferences, collaborating with others, and we can gain insight on any potential problems. Okay, so here we are in CADmep, and we're going to create some details. So I'll open up a project here. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let me just zoom in so we can see our project, and I'll go to a 3D view and zoom into this little area right here that we'll be creating a detail. So we're going to create a spool drawing, which is like a separate drawing that just takes parts of the model that we're in. It'll take those elements, it'll add them to a separate drawing, and we have a layout that we can use to create a detail. You'll see I'm just changing the text size real fast so we can see all of these little symbols here, and I'll do a regen. Good. So in here, I'll just make sure my viewport's locked, and I'm just going to start moving some of these tags around. So I'm just in here, right in this layout, I'll move these tags around. And could even start adding some leaders to these. So there's a really great tool where you can select the tag and add these leaders to it. So the way we're doing this now, we created a separate drawing with the elements that we selected in the other model. And I'm just going to continue moving some things around. Another way we could do this is we can select parts of our model and just create a bunch of different layout tabs within that same drawing. Just throw a couple of dimensions in here real fast. Okay, so we took parts of our drawing, and we used that define spool tool where we made a separate layout in another drawing where we used that as a detail. We could even open up multiple jobs together where we're laying them out within the same drawing. So I'm just opening up this one real fast. Hit OK. If I zoom out, you'll see what happens. See how it just laid them both in the same drawing. And we can even select parts of this thing and create a separate drawing. So I'm just going to select the whole thing. There are some really great filters that you can use. And this controls what you're selecting. So by using these different filters, you're controlling what you want to select. Good, so we have these couple of objects selected over here, and we're just going to isolate those elements so that we're hiding everything else except the objects that we had selected. Then we have this really great tool where we can take these items that we see, select them, and turn them into a completely separate file. Just telling it where I want to save it, browsing out to where I want to save it, naming it. Good. So now there's a completely separate file just with that one drawing in it. Now, Fabrication CADmep, we're using it as a detailing tool. It's a great detailing tool that helps us more quickly create detailed, coordinated models of MEP systems that are ready for fabrication. So it's another really great reason to use this CADmep. Okay, so we're in CAMduct now. This is a different piece of software. So we used MEP, we used CADmep, Navisworks, and now CAMduct. And we're using CAMduct to help efficiently produce and track the production of HVAC systems. Okay. So you see this rectangle here. The rectangles represent one or more sheets of metal. And this right now is simulating the movement of the plasma torch. We can create reports, diagrams, let's see here, materials. Okay, I'll just expand this again. All right, so here we have some reports and some previews of what we've cut and the parts that we're making for this HVAC system. So it's another smart tool. We've talked about ESTMEP, CADmep, Navisworks, and now CAMduct. And CAMduct is a manufacturing tool that can help drive a business's sheet metal production line. Okay, so here we are back in CADmep. We're going to open up a file here. And this time we're going to use it as more of a quality control or quality assurance tool. And we're going to use it to help us locate all of the points, all the hanger points or their hanger locations. Okay, so this will let us see all of the different hangers. We can zoom in and pan while we're in here and look at all the different hangers. They all have a unique tag. And they're all listed on the bottom there. You'll see it, on the bottom it says the number, which is the tag. We could isolate them. And we could even create a path. All of this we can export. We could export this out to a couple of different file types. We're going to export it out to a TXT file. Good. And now we can take a look at that TXT file that we just created. We could take a look at it. There's the file we just created, and this is what we're looking at. So it shows us all of the different hangers, the hanger type, the tag. So each one has a unique number and unique tag, the hanger type, location. So it's another really great tool. So CADmep, we've used it a couple of times during this presentation, but this time we used it to just help deliver faster, more accurate layout installation when putting in these hangers. So it's more of a quality assurance and quality control tool this time. Well, that concludes this demonstration. I want to thank you all for attending. If you have any questions about the Autodesk MEP Fabrication software or any other services that we offer at Robotech, please feel free to give us a call or shoot us an email. You could visit our website. All of our information is right here on this screen. Thank you for attending, and have a good day.